order. As we begin, Minister and your team, you are most welcome. We have a program, I think, given I'll take you through when we have started officially. At the moment, let me invite all of you to rise up for the national anthems. For works, my name is, I'm the president, and I have to implement it. I take pressure from you this program. Honorable Minister, you are very much about the program to this, because a cabinet member, and this was brought to cabinet. Will be Minister will be and we put in our manifesto 2020. You will have observation the manifesto unit, and then a session from the members of the media. This transport and a very critical sector. In a sense that it supports the success of other sectors. So its performance really also contributes to some extent the success of other sectors or programs or interventions designed by the government and to deliver its agenda. So it's also a list of economic growth, like I said, its efficient will also allow His Excellency talking cost of doing business in Uganda. So this sector plays a very big role in trying to buy or reduce cost of doing business in Uganda. So, Minister, we are to have you team and you get to listen and presentation to prove how far we come in different very this This is not a rally. And those that may be and Ugandans who are also interested to know how we are moving the country on the commitment we made and not yet what's going on. So with those few introduce him and also how far we've gone on this social contract with sector of works.
Very much. The director and of transport also reach out to in the manifesto 20. We have not been seeing something promised them that we are starting 21. My team, I have the permanent secretary, Mr. Gaya Waiswa, from the Ministry of Transport. Maybe if you can stand up and introduce yourself. Starting under secretary, under secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Richard, Commissioner, Minister. Thank you, Honorable Minister. My name is Engineer Stevich.
Under secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Richard, Commissioner, Minister. Thank you, Honorable Minister. My name is Engineer Stevich.
Under secretary. Okay, thank you very much. That's the team I'm with, and as you very well know that our mission for the Ministry of Works and Transport is to promote adequate, safe and well-maintained works and transport infrastructure and the services for socio-economic development of Uganda. Then our vision is to provide reliable and safe works, transport infrastructure and services. The Ministry of Works and Transport, it has got very many entities. Majorly each entity has a number of things. One, we have the Uganda National Roads Authority, which we have. This one handles the national roads. Then we have the Uganda Airline, which connects our country to other countries via air. Then we have the Civil Aviation Authority. This is the entity which manages the airways. We have the Uganda Corporation. This one majorly handles the meter gauge rail to get transport, because meter gauge rail goes hand in hand with water transport. We bring cargo via water, we put cargo via rail, then put on water. That's a continuation of that route. We have the standard gauge railway. This is an entity mandated to coordinate the standard gauge rail activities. There is a slight difference between meter gauge and the standard gauge. Standard gauge uses quantities faster technology compared to the other meter gauge. We have a building review board. The people up. Then within the ministry, other departments, those which are concerned with the time administration to do with those issues of water transport. And I must tell you, at the 2021-2026, we have done something. When we look at the things we have done, most of these ones, we are meeting the activities of the projects which we had in the previous manifesto. The previous manifesto was affected by the Ministry of Works and Transport. So most of those projects were affected. With God that the NRM fought. People are safe, though we lost some people. And again, we have resumed work in a normal way. When you see, and after here we shall have an interactive session, someone may ask, all the things you have brought, they are the ones you had in the previous manifesto. What stopped you from completing them? In everything runs on money, and there was no need to overcommit the country because we had the COVID-19 which took money, then we borrowed to finish the project before this new manifesto. So there was no need for that, but we thank God that at least we are there. Maybe the key projects in this manifesto which we may focus on, we have the current completion of Abarega Airport, the first phase. We very well know that with the coming of our oil, the key ensuring that this oil is produced by getting the heavy equipment, and this heavy equipment cannot be brought in via water. It will take time, but those heavy aircrafts carrying those heavy equipments which are going to help us in the oil refinery, and we are progressing well, as my will tell you. So this first to the new project now we commissioned yesterday at the standard gauge railway. We know sometime back in 2011 there, this initiative the East African countries took, and they signed an MOU that all of us we should develop, each country should develop its SGR network such that the cost of these commodities is low. You get the commodities are expensive. Why they're expensive? Because the cost of transportation is very high. When the cost of transportation is very high, automatically the price will be indirectly impacted on these people who commodities. We have commissioned the project, and we already have about 2 to 3 trillion committed for the contract. We proceed. This one will not only reduce the, but when you see the jam and accidents along the route, for example, if you moved now via Mavira going to Malaba, the situation is worse. The trailers, the containers, the fuel tanks, all that congestion. Once this project we have launched, commissioned this current manifesto, it is completed, all that will be history. And also when you go to URC, passenger train as a piloting project, you know, Kampala is full of jam. People burn fuel just to sit in the jam and wait. At the end of the day, that is also consuming in their pocket. A distance which is supposed to be where you're supposed to travel within 1 hour, you take 3 hours. You burn fuel and also take a lot of time. As a piloting project, we revamped the passenger train We started with Kampala Namave, then now we're in Kampala Mukono, and we have seen this thing. Actually, we have the overwhelming numbers. To an extent, the coaches we have our perspective. So this one has widely opened our eyes and our minds that we need to extend it. That's why now we are going to extend it to Kampala Kiengera, Kampala Bujuko, all those routes, so that people exiting and entering Kampala, they may not use their vehicles. They use the train to avoid jam, as more other transport means to congest Kampala. When you look at Entebbe Airport, the expansion of Entebbe Airport, because of the beautiful scenery of our country, and being the part of Africa, and that His Excellency the President has opened room for very many investors. So, and even tourism is favorable. We have got many passengers. The numbers are increasing every day. So we have embarked on the expansion of the Entebbe Airport. I know you saw one of the terminal buildings being opened after the COVID-19, but we are doing other things there to ensure that our airport expands to accommodate the overwhelming numbers we are receiving, those who are coming to invest in our country, those who are coming for tourism, and other things. I now invite the Permanent Secretary who will give us some few remarks. Then he will invite someone who is doing the presentation. Then later he can come in to answer questions we have. Thank you very much. PS, I invite you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you, Director. I would like to thank you for the invitation to participate in this week of manifesto implementation. And I'd like to congratulate you, Director, and your team for creating another week of our activity. When we come to tell the nation what we have done with the implementation of the manifesto. I'm sorry to stand up for my colleagues, plan and member of the plan, which are very natural and nothing. Here, of course, we now have the sector. We no longer have sectors, we used to have the transport and works and transport sector. Now we have the integrated transport infrastructure and services program. We are planning according to programs and not sectors. The difference is that this program is now bigger. Besides the ministry and the agencies, it also has the stakeholders, the Ministry of Local Government, the Ministry of Lands, KCCA, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Ministry of Finance, National Planning Authority. So it's a wider program than we used to have this. So the Minister said we are here to present commitments which have been made, and therefore we are going to implement them from 2021 up to today. Thank you very much, and I'd like now to request Commissioner Richard to come and take us through our program. And as is coming, I want us those who are considering us from the program to introduce them to the
Thank you very much. Yes, my name is Richard Sen. I am head of planning from the Standard Program.
Honorable Minister, my Permanent Secretary, Director Manifesto Implementation, my colleagues from Ministry of Works and Transport, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ndiku Richard. I'm a commissioner from Ministry of Works and also the Manifesto Implementation. point person. About the Integrated Transport Infrastructure and Services Program, the composition has already been enumerated by the minister, so I will not go into that. And number 2, brief overview of the program commitments. Now, the program had a total of 40 commitments, as shown in the table. Under the railway, we have 7 commitments. Under the air mode of transport, 5 commitments. Under inland water, 4 commitments. And then the bulk of commitments were on road, 24, making a total of 40 commitments. So quickly, the first commitment, rehabilitation of meter gauge railway, meter gauge line, Guru to Pakwach line, that is 129 kilometers. Yeah, this is not yet embarked on, but the appraisal and the feasibility studies are ongoing. Tororo Guru line, about 21.3% physical performance has been registered. And also a number of PAPs have been compensated in those districts you can see, mainly from the eastern Uganda. Secondly, we were to repair and secure meter gauge line from Kampala to Malaba to improve line stability, reduce transit times, reduce accidents, and deliver more cargo. A lot of progress has been made here. Emergency repairs of the line between Mukono and Tororo were completed. Refurbishment of Kampala-Mukono line was also completed. Next, repair locomotives, wagons to improve haulage capacity, volumes carried, reduce transit times, reduce accidents, and deliver more cargo. A lot of progress has also been made here, like you can see in the table. Next is the rehabilitation of fuel tanks in Kampala and Tororo to provide additional storage capacity for fuel imports from Kisumu, Port Bell, Jinja. Now, this is not yet undertaken, but this is programmed for next financial year, 25-26, subject to the availability of funds, ladies and gentlemen. Next, hire of reach stackers to handle the loading and offloading of containers in Kampala, Mukono, Tororo, and Malaba. So 2 new reach stackers and have been procured, and about 3 of them are also being maintained. Next. Connect the railway line to industrial hubs. Progress. Namang Industrial Park Emergency repair of the Tororo Namamve railway line was completed. Namamve Mukono railway section of length 26 kilometers, a line repair was completed, and the section had replacement of steel sleepers with the concrete sleepers. Next, concluding financing agreement. So the next commitment was specifically on SGR, standard gauge railway. Concluding financing agreements for the standard gauge railway. Government of Uganda signed the EPC Take contract for the construction of the eastern route with the Yapi Mackenzie from Take in October 2024. And the Ministry of Finance is currently engaging the financiers for preliminary works. Preliminary works are planned to start in February 2025. So those who managed to watch news last evening, the Honourable Minister and the Permanent Secretary were in Tororo for the launch. So the launch was done yesterday by HE, the President. Okay, so that is on standard gauge. Let's continue. Still on standard gauge railway line. We are supposed to finalize land acquisition of right of way by compensating the remaining PAPs. So a lot of progress in that area has been made, like you can see. You can see from the table, a lot of progress in acquiring right of way has been registered. Next was ensuring national local content mainstreaming in line with agreed upon contractual agreements. This has also been prepared very well. Project National Content Strategy was prepared. The standard gauge railway has been a preliminary national contract data bank. So the data bank is being updated and will be shared with you in due course. Stakeholders engagement is ongoing. Some of the national local content providers engaged include steel manufacturers, cement manufacturers, and so on and so forth. Most of these were present yesterday at the launch in Tororo yesterday. The other commitment in line with the standard gauge railway was human resource capacity development. Here we have to provide new generation of workforce with the requisite technical expertise to run the standard gauge railway. A lot of progress here. Human resource capacity development plan was developed. The ministry included a significant local or national content component in the design and the supervision contract. And also the plan is to have a job training as well as a room and the field training both in Uganda and abroad. So all of this has been taken care of, and this commitment of human resource development. The next is connecting electricity, traction substations. Uganda Electricity Transmission Company Limited and the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development have been engaged regarding extending electricity to the proposed SGR traction substations when construction commences. And the budget requirements for the necessary studies were included in the unfunded priorities for 24-25 ministry budget. I don't know what is going on. So next, establishing industrial parks, inland container depots along the Maraba-Kampala route. Working with the Uganda Investment Authority, Uganda Free Zone Authority, and the Ministry of Finance, and all of this has been prepared. Inland container depots in Tororo, Jinja, and Kampala. have been Kampala East have been negotiated and agreed to be developed under the standard gauge railway contract. Next, develop Majanji Port, Lubonji Road and Railway Polytechnic. So a lot of progress has been registered here, you can see, and you can read for yourself. Feasibility studies are ongoing, and also a polytechnic has been earmarked. I think we are going to have trainings at Bustema University and at Namasagari, which is under Bustema University. Next, still on railway, Director, you requested that we include some visuals. We have, where necessary, we have included some visuals. This is when the contract was being signed. The SCGR was being, the SCGR signing the contract for the construction in the Eastern Route. So that was the evidence. Next. Physical performance, railway transport continued. Rehabilitation of Tororo Guru railway line, before and after. On the left, it was before, on the right is after. Next, Nagombwa swamp section drainage improvement. Left is before, right is after. Next, rolling stock. So on the left it is the cargo train, and on the right it's the crane that was revived. Next, the new look of passenger coaches. Most of you have seen these. You have traveled in them from Kampala to to Namamve. So that's the new look. Next. So those were the commitments, the 7 commitments under the railway mode of transport. Now let's start the inland water transport. Now the inland water transport, the first commitment was modernization of Port Bell and Jinjapaya. So that is the progress. Minor rehabilitations were done on the Jinjapaya, railway infrastructure at the Paya. The Central Corridor and the EU are undertaking studies to establish a green port at Port Bell. Next, the other commitment was to improve the navigation safety and security on water, provide high-speed security boats for policing and emergency response. A lot of progress in this area has been registered, you can see. You can read through and we shall share the presentation so that you are able to. Next, improvement of navigation safety and security on water, provide high-speed security boats for policing. Oh, this is a continuation of the upper. This is the same, and that is the continuation. The next page. Next, repairs of MV Kawa and MV Pamba. Now here the repairs were completed. Repairs were completed. Next, Buyende, Kabiramaido, Kagwara, BKK ferry. Construction works for ferry landing site at 74%. Successful floating tests carried out for the MV BKK ferries, and it will be commissioned soon. Next. So the next is a visual. Construction of maritime training facility at Entebbe, which has been completed, 100% complete. You can see how beautiful it is. The left is the training facility, the right is the hostel for the students. Next is also a visual. Now that visual shows the different locations. We have the Panyimur landing site. This is Pakwach district, which is at 80%. And then the middle one is Zengebe, which is in Nakasongora district, which is also at 80%. And then the one on the right-hand side is the Kaiso landing site in Kikuwe district, which is also at 80%. So you can see a lot of progress has been registered as far as the inland water transport is concerned. Next. Next on the left is the weather buoy deployment, and on the right it is the ambulance and the boat undergoing sea trials. That is inland water transport. So you can see a lot has been registered in that area as far as the manifesto commitments are concerned. Now let's go to air transport, air mode of transport. Now the first commitment here was completion of the construction of Hoima International Airport. Now this one, the names keep changing. At one time we have Kabale International Airport, one time Hoima, one time Kabalega. So the project name was Kabale. Kabale, not Kabale of Kigezi, but Kabale with the double A. But that has been changed to Kabalega International Airport. So that's the official name now. And this airport is at 98% completion. Just a few things to be fixed, and then we shall be at 100% for phase one. Next is delivery of 2 Uganda Airlines A330 Airbus, the first by end of 2020 and the other in 2021. I think we all know this. A lot of progress has been done, has been registered. I don't need to read through the purchase of cargo planes for Uganda Airlines as a way of supporting export of agricultural produce. Here, Cabinet approved the proposal to acquire 2 cargo freighters. That is the Boeing 777F and Boeing 737. Discussions on the terms and conditions of the purchase are ongoing for these Boeings. Next, on this mode of transport was completion of development and upgrade of Arua Airfield into an airport, this category 4C. So a lot of progress has been made, as you might want to read through and see. The next commitment was continue to develop and upgrade Gulu and Kasese airfields into 4C airports. Here, a lot of progress has also been made. These projects are at the appraisal stage under the PIMO process with the Ministry of Finance. And we have also acquired additional land for the upgrade and development of Kasese Airport, and also undertook master plan studies and detailed engineering designs. And also initiatives are being undertaken to upgrade Guru Airport to international status in preparation for the AFCON football competition. We are all aware of this. This is being worked on together with the Hoima Stadium. Development of Kidepo International Airport. The government signed a memorandum of understanding with the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry to undertake development of Kidepo International Airport. The airport is being relocated from the current site within the park to a new site outside the park. Next commitment under air was repairs of runway 18 to 36 at Kisoro Airfield, resurfacing of the runway. Works have been substantially completed at Kisoro Airfield. Rehabilitation of Soroti Airport, constructed parallel taxiway to runway, and secured mobile airfield ground lighting system for the Soroti Airport to aid the night pilot training. So a lot of progress has also been done on Soroti Airport. Now let's go to the visuals. Now the visuals, the one on actually the whole of this, the one is a side view, another one is a direct view of Entebbe Airport rehabilitation. So it is the arrival and the departure, the arrival and the departures halls. You can see how beautiful they look. Those who have been to Entebbe Airport, you must have seen this. Next. Now, these are different views of the interior. Entebbe Airport rehabilitation, so the refurbished interior of the airport. When you, that's how they look like. They also look very beautiful now. Next, still Entebbe Airport rehabilitation. On the left, expanded aircraft parking apron. You can see it is now spacious. And then it is a new cargo center. Next is Kawarega International Airport. On the left, it is the aerial view of the airport, the south side. Those have been there. And then on the right, it is the taxiway and runway. You can see how it is also being coming out very, very beautifully. Next, the Arua Airport. The Arua Airport, that is the Arua Taxiway Works. You can see how it has also been modernized now. Okay, next. That marks the end of the air mode of transport. Now let's go back. Let's go to the roads. Now the road transport. This is where we had the bulk of the commitments. I told you here we had 24 commitments, and we are going to start with the DUCA, the district, urban, and community access roads. Now, what was the commitment? The commitment here was the rehabilitation of 5,000 kilometers of district roads. That was one. Then 340 of urban roads. And then thirdly, 8,000 kilometers of community access roads. So this was the commitment in the manifesto. All that has to be done, and has to be by the end of the manifesto period. So quickly, just highlights the rehabilitation of district roads, those that were completed and those that are ongoing, and those that have been contracted and are waiting for funds. You can see the table, and it is self-explanatory in the table. So on the district roads, on the urban roads, on the community access roads, we have a column for those roads that have been completed. You can see the numbers. And then those that are ongoing, those are the numbers. And then those that have been contracted, only are waiting for funds to be completed. So, ladies and gentlemen, a full list of the rehabilitation projects completed, ongoing, and due to commence on the DUCA network is available. We can share that list. It's a comprehensive list showing the location, where these roads have been, where they are located, those that have been completed, so a comprehensive list is available, and we are sharing it. The second commitment was to increase the percentage of DUCA network in fair to good condition. From fair to good condition. From 60% in 2021 to 80% in 2026. So And here specifically, we are supposed to provide additional funding for fuel for all districts to grade, maram, and compact Duka. We are all aware that here the ministry has allocated an extra 1 billion to each district for financial year 2023-24. And it has been provided for the last 2 consecutive years, in addition to the road fund. Secondly, we are supposed to identify at 20 critical road crossings and construct steel bridges for improvement of rural accessibility in the Duka network. Now here, the progress is that we have a project that is under appraisal, and project at feasibility study stage for the PIM process. So we have a project that's specifically handling going, including steel bridges, which is a directive that came from HE, the president. The other one is construction and rehabilitation of several bridges and swamp crossings on the Duka network across the country. Completed bridge projects are here listed. We have listed a few, and like the roads, we also have a full list. A full list of these bridges is also available. The location where they are located, the status, the completed, the ongoing, and those that have been constructed. I mean those that have been contracted. A few visuals here. Here we just sampled. There are very many. These are just a few visuals. For example, we can show you the Kakoge Nakasenyi Mulembia Road. And that was before on the left, where the gentleman is where the rider is. And then on the immediate right, that is the new look now. Restoration works on the right, top right, restoration of works of 1.42 kilometers swamp crossings at Hoko, and rehabilitation of the approach road sections. That is 5.16 kilometers. Now on top, you can see how it was before. Following the arrow, you can see how it looks now. Can compare and see. And then bottom left, you can see before and after. That is Kasenge Mukuju Road. Those are just a few samples. There are very many of those. Next. Next on the left is the Bunandasa Bugibuni Bridge. This is in the Soroko district. And then on the right, you have the Nyara Bridge, which is found in Arua. That's how they look now. Of course, previously they looked very, very, very bad and impassable. But now you can see how they look. Now, look at the next. Now, that one, when you look at that one, that is Aleles Bridge in the Parisa district. Those who come from Parisa, so you can see works ongoing. You can see how extensive that swamp is, and you can see the works going on. Now imagine without that bridge, how the citizens in that area, how they struggle. Next, quickly. Now on the left is Kadokolene Bridge in Udaka district, and those are construction works ongoing. And then on the right you can see how long that swamp is. Osudan Abarirera swamp crossing works. Now this is in the Katapu district, so you can see that works are really ongoing, and we are very confident by the end of this manifesto period, all of these works will be done. Okay, so next is also it's also bridges. These are suspended bridges. On the left, it is Tokwe suspended trail bridge. This is in Wundibujo. On top left, then top right, that is Katoche suspension trail bridge This is found in Kabale. And then bottom left, that is Sandala Nyamitoma Suspension Trade Bridge, which is in Chege district. And then the top right, that is Waki West Local Waki Suspended Trade Bridge. That is in Palisa. No, Bulisa, sorry, not Palisa. So you can see also the suspended bridges, and these have really gone a long way to improve the livelihood of the Wananchi in those respective districts. Next, still on Duka. The commitment was increase the percentage of Duka network in fair to good condition. This is still continued. Now, we're supposed to procure additional road construction equipment for the benefit of the 16 new districts which were created between 2018 and 2019. The districts included, the districts are many, you know them, but there were 16 new districts. Now, the progress here is that recently the equipment was procured and distributed by the ministry. And the ministry continues to engage Ministry of Finance to acquire the remaining equipment. It was bought in the bits because of funding challenges. So the vibro roller and water bowser and the tipper trucks were not provided. So these are also going to be procured and then delivered to those very districts. The next was investing in innovative technologies such as pro-base seeding technology for road construction and maintenance. A lot of research, a lot of innovation has been registered in the program, and a lot of pilot works are ongoing, and construction of regional material testing laboratories in Rutukul, in Moroto, and also in Hoima ongoing, and they are currently around 54-55%. Next is the visual. This is the visual showing the equipment for the new 16 districts. Here they are packed at the Ministry of Works and Transport yard, you can see on the left, and then on the right, the right Honorable Prime Minister was issuing them out to the districts. Next is the Central Material Laboratory at Chireka, and currently this one is under construction, and that's the progress of the construction works. Next, the other commitment was for all districts where we procured equipment, additional resources for fuel to operate the equipment to maram and compact the roads will be provided. So here we've already said that the 1 billion was provided, and in this I think there was an element in that 1 billion to take care of those requirements. Then next was refurbish 645 units of serviceable equipment imported from China in 2012 and distribute among municipal councils and new cities by 2022. Refurbishment and proposal presented to the Parliament Committee on Physical Infrastructure, which guided the Ministry of Works to undertake reassessment of the state of the equipment. Reassessment of the equipment is due to commence in 25-26. The other commitment was procurement of equipment for tarmacking roads for allocation to 5 big municipal councils, maybe, and cities. This is not yet done. We are yet to start on this procurement of that equipment. Next, I think that marks the end of Duka, and now we start national roads. National roads are under Uganda National Roads Authority, They are the ones who have been handling this. And you can see in the column of commitment, you had bridges infrastructure. Now you can see all of those bridges, completed bridges completed. We have a list. We have a full list provided by INRA where that shows all the bridges that have been fully completed. Important is the Karuma Bridge and access roads. Here, repairs are ongoing. We all know this bridge was closed to enable the repairs to go on. Lalopi Omi Bridge, updating of the design is ongoing, and this is going to be funded by African Development Bank. The new Pakwachi Bridge and access roads. Now, this is at the concept stage as per the PIM process framework. The concept has already been approved by the program working group, and the process is on. Masini Port Bridge and access roads, procurement of the value engineering consultant has been initiated, and bank approved advance procurement. Nakiwogo Bridge, at the concept stage as the PIM process. As per the PIM framework, the Nakiwogo Bridge is the bridge that is going to replace the ferry from Nakiwogo, I think, to Buwaya. So this has also been approved by the program working group. Semriki Bridge, at concept stage, be funded by UKEF. The other commitment was to continue with the construction of the ongoing road projects, most of which are to be completed around 2022. And we are beyond that, and we are beyond that. You know, I think the challenges, mainly as we shall be seeing them, the key challenges, I think we had the challenges of COVID, but what has been completed, a list of completed road projects, is also in the next slides, as we shall see. Next, there we are. Completed bridge projects on the national network. I will not read bridge by bridge, you can read through. Those that were completed 2020, 2021, you can see the name of the bridge. Okay. Completed bridge projects on the national road network as of February 2024. Ayugi Bridge on Atiak Ajumani Moyo Yumbe, Manibe Road, Cherry Dit and Opio Bridges on Pakere, Pabo Road. And those are 4. Then Mpanga and Impondwe Bridge on Kampala Mubende, Fort Portal, Uganda. DRC border road, Aji and Ora bridges, including 9.2 kilometers of access road. 2 of them. Aji and Orara bridges, including 9.2, I think that's a repetition, sorry. Our bridge, Nariyamubuge bridge, including 2 kilometers of access road. 4 strategic bridges in the West Nile sub-region, that is Ora 1, Ora 2, Aswa, and Olemika on Pakwach Inde Ochoko Road. Isimba public bridge and access roads. Chololo and Chosan Amudat Road. So those are the ones that were completed. This as of February 2024. Now those of financial year 2021-2022, La Mon Bridge crossing on Pakere Pabo Road in West Nile, Inde Box Culvert on Pakwach Inde Ochoko Road, that's in Pakwach, Sironko Bridge on Mbare Sironko Road, that is in Mbare, Ala Azuzu Bridge in Aroa, Para and Tongi gate bridges on package 1, Masindi Park Junction and Tangi Junction. That is Para Bulisa. That is in Bulisa and Nwoya, Bulisa and Nwoya districts. Next, 2022-2023, multi-sail box culvert on Ajeki, West Nile. That was also completed. Jure Bridge on Atiak, Ajumani, Moyo, Yumbe, Manibe Road, and Amau Bridge on Ularopi, Paloinya, Obongi Road. This is in Moyo. Bridges on the National Road Network. Lot 3, that is Gazi, Reno Camp, Acha, which is also in Reno Camp. Kibimba Bridge, that is in Eastern, that was also completed. Then 23, again 24, Kampala flyover and the road upgrading project also completed. Rugogo Bridge Swamp crossing along Chamukonda, Kisozi, Ngoma Road. Saka Swamp crossing in Palisa. This was 1 bridge and 6 box culverts. 33 other bridge projects at the various stages of construction. The list is also available for sharing. Next, there. Completed road projects as at the end of June 2024. So quickly, we can read through Tirinyi Palisa Kumi, and that was 67 kilometers. Palisa Kamonkoli, 44 kilometers. Masaka Bukakata, 41 kilometers. Kigomba Bulima, 69 kilometers. That was 2020-2021. Those are roads. Then 21-22, Kampala Northern Bypass, 17.5 kilometers. Masindi Park Junction and Tangi Junction. Bulisa roads. These are oil roads. This is 159 kilometers. Hoima Butiaba Wanseko Road. This is an oil road also, 111 kilometers. Then 2022-2023, Buhimba na Rueyo Bulamagi and Bulamagi Igayaza Kakumiro. This is 93 kilometers. Rukungirikihihi Ishasha Kanungu, 78.5 kilometers. Kapchorwa Swan, 73 kilometers. Tara Gerenge, 11 kilometers. And then 23-24, Atiak Laropi, which is 66 kilometers. So those are roads. Continue. Now we go to the town roads. The town roads, Bulima Kaboya town roads, 3 kilometers. Bobi Rwakaha town roads, 5.8 kilometers. Chenjojo Kaboya town roads, 11 kilometers. Oriyo Guru town roads, 10 kilometers. Soroti Aksim town roads, 26.2 kilometers. Mubende Kakumiro Kagadi town roads, this is 24 kilometers. Pigi town roads, 20 kilometers. Mbarara town roads, 20 kilometers. In the financial year 21-22, Kigumba Bulima roads, 15 kilometers. Kasese town roads and Hima service roads, 6 kilometers. Entebbe Pediatric Surgical Hospital, 4.2 kilometers. Namusi Sironko Muyembe Chorwa Road, phase 2 town roads, that's 5.1 kilometers. So the beneficiary districts have also been appended. Next, town roads continued. Chamate Rushere town roads, that is 5.6 kilometers. Kapchorwa Swan town roads to the high altitude training center, This is in Kapchorwa, 12 kilometers. Masindi and Kigumba town roads, 15 kilometers. Hima, this is Hoima, not Hima. Hoima town roads, 3.1 kilometers. And then Uwa roads in the Machizon. Now, on the left bottom is the Rukungi Ishaka Kanungu, and then right it is Kapchorwa Swan. Next. So that is the summary. The summary of 2021-2026 commitments on the national road network. So that's the summary, and we can all see the summary. So we are saying, in addition to that, this includes spillover project from the 2016-2021 manifesto. A complete list of commitments on the national road network is available also for sharing. So that's the summary. We can all see the summary. Next. Next is the Masindi Park Junction. Masindi Park Junction and Tangi Junction in Parabulisa. That is on the left. And then Kampala Northern Bypass on the right. Yeah, we have all used this, so we quickly next. Now you can see how beautiful those roads are. The Masaka Bukakata, 41 kilometers on the left, and then the Hoima Butiaba Wanseko Road on the right, 111 kilometers. Most of us have used those roads, and we know how beautiful those roads are. Next. This is now the maintenance. Now that table shows the maintenance of the national roads. The commitment here was national roads network are maintained periodically, the paved ones, and then the national roads network are maintained periodically, the unpaved ones. Then the national road network are maintained, the routine manual paved. And then the national roads, you can see these photos show the periodic maintenance works along Kampala Northern Bypass. Asphalt concrete laying. Most of us experienced this. This was being done at night. And the road is now very, very smooth. So this is the maintenance, continued periodic maintenance of works on paved roads. So you can see on the bottom left, street lighting during the day and night at Wewaja along Kajans. So during the day you can see, and then at night, most of us have driven through these roads both day and night, so we know how beautiful they are. Next. Next is also routine maintenance of paved roads. On the left, there's sectional repairs carried out along Gaza, Kalagi Road. Along Kalagi Road. So next, the next visual. The next visual Kama Road under Fort Portal Station. Gentlemen, that's a briefly summary of the manifesto commitments, and I only wanted to highlight a few. There are many challenges. A few challenges. The ITIS program also was greatly affected by the COVID pandemic. This one, this pandemic really, especially, the program faces the inclement weather. After working on these beautiful roads, especially the unpaved ones, we've experienced heavy rains, now, which have slowed the progress in the construction, and at times the roads are cut off, and these are usually beyond control of the program, of the ministry. And then also, like the other programs, most of the other programs, the underfunding of the program interventions, into, among others, the tennis backlog, gradual deterioration of the infrastructure, and accumulation of debts. When you go to UNRWA, there are a lot of debts that have been accumulated. Procurement delays, all the challenges, procurement processes. We have had delays here because of a number of factors, and this has greatly affected our progress. The rising inflation, of course, this can't be overemphasized, and of course, I said among others, the other biggest challenge has been the right of way. Right of way is a big challenge to the program. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say that the program has been, though not quantified, but the program performance so far, to a great extent, has been very, very satisfactory, and the director will quantify us. If we quantify ourselves, we might. To us, the performance has been satisfactory. As the program continues in the pursuit to achieve the manifesto targets, and financial and technical support are needed, lest it fails short of achieving the desired targets, along with the negative impacts of socio-economic development of the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, that on the ITIS program, he wishes to thank His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, Parliament, Cabinet, development, local government, and the entire citizens of Uganda for their continued support towards the realization of the program's. I thank you.
That is the brief story we can give in this limited time. Of course, we have done quite a lot, but it has not gone without challenges. Director, when it is raining like this, the farmers are celebrating, they are happy. For us, we are really worried. The incremental weather is affecting the infrastructure so. But obviously, we are now developing the strategy to going for climate resilient infrastructure, especially the drainage structures. We need to run away from these pipe drainage structures, the arm culverts, and instead going to box culverts, so that water can flow even when the levels are risen up. The other big challenge I've noticed is the distribution of recruitment for the new districts. We are supposed to give them 6 units each, where there is a water bowser, 2 trucks, a vibrover, but we're only able to give them a wheel loader and a grader. The other equipment are now not giving them. So that is not really full equipment. We are still looking for the money to see if we can complete the units for the new districts. Of course, still on equipment, we are supposed to give 5 municipalities forward. And in the future, we would like to get some big districts to get 2 units instead of getting 1 unit like the small ones. We should get districts like Mbarara, Kasese, to get a second unit so that they can do their road maintenance properly. Sometimes you find they have the money, but the equipment is not all that regular. We would like to address that problem in the near future. Here, I think the last point I would like to look at is the backlog of maintenance because of funding challenges, quite big. And of course, going with that is the problem of unpaid bills. The unpaid bills are choking on the institution. The as we talk now has a bill of about 1.3 billion. The bills and the challenge taken to cabinet, and we hope it will be addressed soon. Thank you.
Please join me to give a very big applause to the presentation from the program. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and your team, for the presentation, which I think was quite comprehensive. This is a big sector, and like I said, it has a very big role it plays in catalyzing the growth of our economy. Honorable Minister, allow me now to make a few observations as a manifesto unit, and then before I invite the media to raise its issues. First, the unit wishes to you for a successful conclusion of the FID on the and the President's commissioning of this big infrastructure investment which will come into the country. As you are aware, this is something that carried over from the last term, so we now see steps where the investment will now come on the ground. And I think what remains now is to complete the right of way acquisition so that when the project starts, no delays by those challenges. Second, also to acknowledge the road equipment that was extended to the last local governments, as you said, though it was a partial delivery, but at least it is better than nothing. These local governments can build on how to maintain their issues. We also applaud the efforts covered to 9%, and I think this will be another game changer in our air industry, but also most importantly, the support that it will give to the oil and gas investments that are going on in the region. So it's full operational support our transport. We partial success on the implementation of the digitized motor vehicle plates, Honorable Minister. Although you keep the full operationalization, but that we see some of this, and we hope if this is fully operationalized, it will go a long way in dealing with the intent, especially on managing crimes, which was a bit in urban areas. We continue to appreciate the efforts that were put in the delivery standards at the issuance of the driving permits. I think now one can be, and also the lead time is taken when one goes to This is a very big turnaround of how services are delivered in this country. So we take cognizance of that. Of by giving it a new face, Honorable Minister, I think this is important, and we can see the tourism sector growing. So this also gives us a good the completion of the cargo side is also important. We only worried that at one point when we had seen this refurbishment, then we suffered a heavy rain, which also showed some leakages. I hope these were sorted, Honorable Minister. Unfortunately, I don't see CAA people here, but the refurbishment gives the country a good image. However, Honorable Minister, in this manner of ours, you know, the minds that were behind put down a number of roads, and you gave the summary here of how many kilometers out of the total 6,000. You gave a summary of how many have been completed, how many are under design. I wish to request that that list, in terms of those interventions on each and every road, is given, so that the public, the citizens, are informed where are we as far as each of the roads that serves them is concerned. Because when we give these global figures, sometimes we don't know. So 800 kilometers that we are completing, which roads are these ones? These ones which are under designs, which these ones which are pending funding, they need to know, so that it also helps us and every other person, even our people, our other local leaders, can be able to explain that government is this is the position on how far government has gone on this. Here we haven't received funding. Here we got money, it is this. Here these are under design, these are procured, and so that the citizens can be. We had also pledged, Honorable Minister, on the rehabilitation of the aerodromes within the country. I think we have not moved well in this area, and this is affecting domestic transport, because as the economy grows, as many people come into the cash economy, people would not want even to waste more time on the roads. They would like to board these planes and fly into the different parts of the country. And also, as we said, tourism is growing. We need to allow, much as we want these tourists to stay here as long as possible, but it would also be important to be mindful of the convenience if these aerodromes were very developed and facilitative in this area. Of course, we are very grateful for the implementation, the manifesto unit notes, the release of this 1 billion to support the local governments. But I also want to say that in one of our monitoring visits, we are witnessing abuse of this money. And we want you to, we don't know the guidelines we are given or the guidelines on the management of these funds. For us, we are requesting that a follow-up is made, so this money is right to use and there is value for money, so that the roads within the local governments are motorable. And you are aware this is also another pillar within the parish development model. So if we want the model to take off, the proper usage of this maintenance fund should be followed to proper use. I think we also still have a challenge with tourism roads in the Chisoro area. We have done well in the Bunyoro area and partly Kasese, Shasha area, but the Chisoro area we have some roads and covered the south-southwest area, which are also very important for the tourism there, especially the Windy and other areas where we have our gorillas. So that said and done, we appreciate your continued efforts to make the program successful, especially on those very specific commitments that we put down in our manifesto. So those are our comments. I now want to take the pleasure to invite comments from and observations and questions from our members, our partners, the media, and the audience. Issues to do with this program. I thank you. You are not clapping? Okay. Any issues, any observations? Yes, are you making comments or you are going to your camera? Yes. Is it working? I think that side you may need a mobile mic. It will be helped with a mobile mic. Oh. Okay.
Thank you very much, my name is on the team. My name is John from the UB. My first question relates to the standard gateway, where it's mentioned that there's going to be training of some people to run the SDL. I remember some time back, a number of Ugandans went for training around the standard gateway. I just think we consider some of these people they were training more. Maybe I don't know how many of these people they're looking for. There are questions about when you talk about sorry, the question is not to
maybe stand upright. The mic will pick you, the technology will pick you. Don't overbend.
There's going to be training of people in grassroots on managing the standard gateway when it is operational. Sometime back, we thought that Uganda went to Ethiopia to train on the issues around the standard gateway. And actually, they were looking for kind of work and employment in Uganda when the program starts. I think both at construction and even at the operational level. But when they mentioned that more training is taken, so I'm just thinking, maybe we look around for some of those people that really exist. And the question is, how many of these people are you looking for? The second is about all the in the city using the internet area. And first see a social problem arising by creating unemployment. People who are on borders and taxis, while they are a nuisance, again when we bring the railway and then get rid of them, we are further creating bigger problems for them. So I don't know whether the ministry is thinking about this, because we have really one huge infrastructure to handle a huge number of people, creates a lot and people are unemployment and other people who are also related. You see when you go downtown, those who are selling chapatis and the like, and you may get rid of so many of them. So I don't know whether the ministry is thinking about this social. While the railway is very important, often this thing, the social aspect also needs not to be forgotten. The other question I would like to broadly raise is about, since you are shifting into a program-based approach versus the sector kind of approach, I would probably like to be seeing more the outcomes or the what called results. Because they say that in the sector approach, the measures in the past were process and output oriented. So I think in the manifesto, maybe going forward, that we need to see how these programs are making a positive impact on people's lives. So when you do the railway or when you put the air Maybe finally, that to you, the director, that we request that this presentation could be available to us so that if early enough, so that we are also analyzing it as it is ongoing. I see the news, people have the manifesto report, but we don't have it. So I think that if we are providing quickly enough, it helps us also to analyze and process the information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the last one, I think maybe first here we have nothing we are hiding. In fact, that's why we are saying we are coming out to share with you how far we have gone. So we have no problem with that. We shall avail them. On the other issue you have raised, which I think touches us also, is about the going program, which now should be emphasizing the outcomes. Yes, we agree with you, but as you are aware, the manifesto and I think the NDP are all living documents. They are 5-year target plans. So at the conclusion of maybe towards the end of the term, we will be able to come back and look at how the different programs and different interventions have impacted on the lives of the people. But this will largely come through the National Development Plan, which will also have an area manifesto has been delivered on itself. Any other comments? Honorable Minister, people seem to be very satisfied with you. Oh.
Thank you. My name is Lawrence from BBC Radio. First of all, I want to thank the Ministry for the report. On the right of way, government has been spending a lot of money on clearing the right of way, paying off, compensating these people. And that money could be put to use in better services. And first of all, I would ask, and the Ministry petition government in that these people who are given right of way can be paid or minimum a lesser amount than the processes of the development of the country. For example, if I'm coming from Kikore and the government is going to construct in that place, will take my products to bigger market. Why would I be compensated with bigger money and yet I'm the biggest beneficiary of this? Secondly, on the lot of delays of construction works, mainly Kampala, is it the question of inefficiency of these contracted companies that you're dealing, in that they don't have the capacity to run these projects in the shortest time possible? Because there is a lot of delay, people moving Kampala a construction site, and it takes a lot of months, a lot of years when this by still roads. Is there any way, are there avenues that you're putting in place before you're giving this person a contract? You are sure that they are able to run these projects in the shortest time possible? Thank you.
Okay. I think it's all to do with contract management generally, but also Kampala City will be here to present its case on how far they have gone, and I think that could also, they will answer, but we could also hear from the city authorities or the Minister of Kampala why we are experiencing what you are raising. Maybe, Honorable Minister, what I wanted to share with you from the manifesto perspective is that this program receives a lot of investment or budgetary allocation from government. And one of the challenges we are dealing with as an economy is an issue of employment. And we know that these projects really give opportunities to many of our Ugandans. Could we also have like a statistical information, or could you start gathering this data on how these projects that are in this area or in this program how many Ugandans are employed over time, so that it can also show that, I know this is not your specific area, but it would be important to capture this data and also know that, yes, we have these so many kilometers going on in the country. Out of the 2,000 we have given out, this is how they have also contributed to the employment of this country. Just for as a food for thought. But if you have the data, I believe Ugandans would also benefit from that kind of information. So if, yes? It's not working? Just keep it a distance. Keep it a distance so that it doesn't bring echo.
Mine is just an appreciation. I think that this is the right place to portray the flyovers. I really appreciate the coming through the ministry of us investment for implementing the flyovers in various junctions. Indeed, junctions are being daily, but flyovers are working. And I would request to look out for other busy junctions in different towns to still implement such flyovers.
We didn't get your name and your media house.
Thank you very much. Star TV.
Okay. Honorable Minister, I think that goes to you and your area. Allow me now to invite you once again to come here and make the request. And like I said, all your team is there for you, to support you for any other response you may need from them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The Director Manifesto implementation. You saw detailed report of what the ministry has done in this period from 2021 up to where we are, and we have hope that even the remaining things a few shall complete them by 2026, because I'm very sure his very team is coming up with the manifesto of 2026-2031, because we know it very well. It is proved beyond no doubt that NRM is still around, because we are working for our people. To an extent, even what we failed to achieve in the previous manifesto, we are trying to achieve it in this very manifesto. And the commissioner who presented here, he showed you that we have a total number of 2,926 kilometers. Those are the ongoing projects, those are the roads. Some of those we have signed the contracts, then some of those are under procurement. And for us, we are ready under the leadership of NRM to have the addition of those kilometers, the 2,926 completed. And the questions asked, one was the aerodrome rehabilitation, that the process is very low. True, it is very low. We are just doing some simple repairs on these aerodromes, that's to do with the runways. But we have taken up the presidential directive to construct and expand these regional aerodromes, because we realized when it comes to tourism, for us in Uganda, we almost receive the poor people. The rich ones don't reach us. Why? That those who want to come with their private jets land directly to Kidepo, Kisoro, but landing in Entebbe, it is inconveniencing them. So in that way, we have taken the direction of reconstruct and expansion. We have a pattern where people do build, operate, and transfer, so that we can have a quick service. And also some of them are in pipelines of getting the budget to work. So at appropriate time, I think we shall give the detailed report, the secretary, to give it to people. Plan we have for all these regional aerodromes, because we need them for tourism. Instead of someone landing in Entebbe, landing in our neighboring countries, them is to remain there. We have that. SGR, the standard gauge railway, it's true we commissioned yesterday's construction. And we have the Yapi Mackenzie. The people have been helping Tanzania. They are coming to help us do this construction. Someone said there are people who went for training. I think that was a private arrangement. We had the Chinese company some time back whom we signed a contract with, but this was subjected to availability of to manage, and the terms were not favorable, so we jumped out of it legally. So that was a private arrangement when they took people for training. But you may realize most of our projects in Uganda, 5% the content of the workers, these are our local from Uganda and from those areas where it's taking place. So we give them that to do those simple works, so that our get skills. And you may realize in the contract we have signed with Yapi Mackenzie, it is the same. We need the local content. This local they would not mention take people for training. We don't have that budget. But they are recruiting our local people, those who have skills in electric, because this electrical project, civil works, and those other things. And at the end of the 48 months, these people have gained a lot of skills. If, for example, someone from Mobene, from Masaka has his degree in electrical engineering, but never taken learn the skills on how to deliver his skills on the standard gauge rail project. But after the end of 48 years, this person will have some knowledge, and we shall use the same people on expansion of our other eastern route, which is via Kisoro and to note there's no specific budget that we are calling in Ugandans to on how to construct this. But those will be get jobs there as per our contract. They would get skills later. We can use them to when we're doing the expansion. Of course, we leave like the 10 or 5% for them also to recruit those international, because of the highly skilled labor we need and expertise we need. That's why we get 20% together with our locals. The borders in Kampala, someone said they are nuisance. I may not agree with you. In a developing country like Uganda, especially where there is freedom and democracy, and where our loving president gives an opportunity to everyone. You do any business you want, you think it can give you money, then it can guide you. Chasing out the borders from, yes, some of them do errors. Like really the border sees this is one lane. It will not stop him from riding in the opposite direction. Some of them are people from Kasese, they ran out from police. They have been still. Some ran out from prison. Some of these ones, as their kids, they in the villages with their motorcycles, so they came in Kampala. Still, the behavior keeps on coming. However, we have who are really business of the border. One time, a friend of mine had a case of Kiriandongo 4 years back. This person was arrested by police, I think manipulated, at night took away. 3 years, this person was, as he was coming from border, someone taking him, was like a made an the people are arrested. So you can see, this is an example that majority of the borders we have, they are hiding here. Because if you look at the number of the borders we have in Kampala, I don't think all of them make money. That's why even some of them have been persuaded to really go and do wrong things, attacking people. Siruke CCA, we are doing that one with the Ministry of Works, number one, to regulate the borders we should have in Kampala. That is by gazetting the stages. When we gazette and say Nankulabe stage, it should have 50 people. Those are 50. Because also we realize the majority, they don't have stages. They keep on moving up and down. So once we know Nankulabe has supposed to accommodate 50, Kisenyi stage 40, Rubaga stage 30, then we shall say the rest who don't have stage, we are sorry for you. Can you do business? In that way, we shall regulate that we have the borders also. But in the future, as mentioned, we have come with railway, the passenger services right now up to Mukono, then later to Chenga. But also in the future, we are trying to work up with Kampala Capital. I think they will present this one to you and to ensure we have the dedicated lane for the bus. This dedicated lane, we don't expect whether you're a minister, you're high rank government, it is for ambulance once in a while, the buses for passenger services. Because if we just talk about the borders now, me myself, if just out about the borders are very fast, but we are much how we help them also to get their business. Why I've wasted a lot of time on this? We are giving to the country what we have done as the NRM government, what we intend to do in the next manifesto. We need sense would say now the NRM government is not considering people who don't have support you from the project, but many also under law. This parliament, the laws which were made even before me was produced, I think, that take your property, since there is democracy and freedom in Uganda, one, we must seek your consent. That's the laws we made. We must seek your consent that you have allowed and inform you the portion of your land you are going to take or the portion of your building you are going to take. Then we value the property. The law may even refuse the valuation of the property. And that's someone mentioned delays both in Kampala and outside Kampala. So do you see that we have taken a 50 by 50, for example, in Kenjojo, for you, because of problems, if you want facilitation, you have about 50 children, you want to join the night clubs, and now you budget. There is like billion. You have a right to say this property, I need 70 billion. However, the ones who made the law were also that, so do you fail to agree? We can go to court, deposit your money, we do the work, we evict you forcefully, but we leave you a room, you tussle it in court. If you win us, that we are supposed to give you 70 billion, that small project, government will pay. That's the room they left in there. But I remember I was not in the parliament, that was some few years back. The government had brought this one on board. We are not saying not paying people, but they were bringing a proposal saying if somehow, somewhere, similarly, if land can be owned by government, that if there is a project you want to do, we proceed and do without paying. The whole information started with these people who have cameras. They started misinforming government that and the NRM government, they want to take people's land, which was not true. But I'm happy since you have mentioned, you could still bring up this one, you inform the public about the benefit of it. Then when we see, because we are the best informers to the public, then also as members of parliament, we can resurrect it. We say to the community that on these projects, you give us permission, we do projects. Then the government can work backwards to see how they can, not necessarily compensating, but kusumbusa. If your house, this government, we have seen that in countries. If you have acre, government can identify someone, gets for you an acre. That one, I welcome it, and we also think further about it, but to the media group, you can try to educate the public about this one. Then also we resurrect it. There is a lot of projects. Most of those are projects. I can call it abnormal. The person needs, because he or she has loans in the banks and feels at the end of the day are being affected. And these contracts we sign, we have the right way. Any delay, they keep on charging us. Those the PS you here, where factors demand from UNRA. The KCCA delays, I'm happy he has mentioned. Don't coordinate this program, KCCA will come. For us in KCCA, the expertise part of it to give advice when they are constructing their roads. But when it comes to implementation and other things, they are able and responsible to come and inform you why. But we have seen the project in the case here. One black voice says, I constructed them, so you cannot demolish it, even whether also the heavy traffic we have in Kampala, but also on individuals. We have seen some of the individuals are not patriotic. They don't want projects to go to completed because they keep on drawing allowances every day and then every day and again. So those are the problems we have, but KCC will come and clarify on this. More flyovers in Kampala. I'm happy appreciating the flyovers we have, because when the Ministry of Works through UNRA started on this, there were mixed reactions. We are telling lies to Ugandans. Such a thing cannot happen in Uganda. But I'm happy people are using it. And it's more of a tourist attraction to Ugandans who come from very fine villages to come and see. It has really removed the congestion there. We shall have more of this. On condition also, we should persuade our fellow Ugandans, everyone, that we comply in paying our tax obligations. Because you see all this cries rotating on money, to an extent some of the projects we have not implemented, we don't have funds. But if we comply to our tax obligations, the URA fees we pay, me and you, then also we task finance to give us that much so that we can have more flyovers. Not only in Kampala, even in villages, we can have some in Kakumiro, some in Bugisu. As long as we keep the NRM government in power, and we know it is still around, because some of us, we are still young, we have energy to take it on. NRM is not all about these people, it is all about me, you, and other people. So with all what we have delivered as Ministry of Works, and I believe there are other ministries which are here, where these things maybe before 1886. So really we need to appreciate, and come 2026, we are now coming up with a new manifesto, and moreover this manifesto of 2021-2026 was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We are for it, we are panicking there and there, so it took a lot of money. So we do believe the coming manifesto, we shall do more, even double works we shall deliver to this. I think those are the questions which they asked. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. And we must commit ourselves that Ministry of Support. We are ready. And the things we do them with approval of Cabinet, approval of Parliament, and in consultation with other stakeholders. Before we do them, we see more especially what it is more to do with road, because even air transport, that is a connection. To do with water transport, that's a connection. We do things, number one, which we see any Ugandan can use them. For example, if it is a road, that road, a Ugandan can use it to transport commodities on that road, also to access health care service, school, so that that person in the future does not remain the same. You know, there are a number of demands from the communities. To an extent, a rich man who has a whole village as his family wants every route pass to be tarmacked. It is right, we can do it. But at the beginning, where we are now, we are doing those projects connecting very big communities so that we can develop. And all the concerns the individuals bring, we normally note them down, but we give priority to those which can serve very many communities. Then when it comes to the district roads, the director mentioned about it, that addition of 1 billion, we gave the guidelines together with the Ministry of Local Government, and at least the 1 billion something to the district roads. However, also this money, we have a very big problem in Uganda, the issue of corruption. There is a report which came up that after the giving of this 1 billion from the last financial year, most of the district engineers have become rich. The one who was very tiny now is very big, with a very political belly. Some of them have bought luxurious cars. Some of them have built nice homes. I'm not saying the investigation is saying they're using the 1 billion, but we are still investigating further. When my mother dies, for you, that's when you make your party in a home the next day. Are you celebrating the days of my mother, or it has been your plan? So we are investigating. You may find this 1 billion, that's money they are misusing, because we have had a few examples arrested in some other districts. And if that is the case, the problem we have, and they think to fight are diabetes, where there's a chairman LC1, LC2, LC3, including these other leaders at different levels. And you hear them complaining the shadow work being done. But unfortunately, they complain late after 6 months. So it is our responsibility to supervise these government projects, the roads. The energy system is not done properly. Investigation can be, as soon as possible before the project is completed. So the 1 billion has done something, and those a few cases of these engineers who are now rich, whom we are tracing, could be part of the diversion of the 1 billion. We work on them, but it's my responsibility, me and you, the Ugandans, to ensure that all of these government programs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for according us time to tell the country, especially our NRM voters, because it is very vital. When you give us votes, we come and give you accountability of what we have done. And even those who are in the party, still, when you join us come 2026, in the middle of 2026-2031, we shall do the same. Thank you very much. I wish you a good day.
Director, you congratulated us on the digital number plates, although we had some restrictions at the pace at which we are moving. Mr. Kasher to say something for the benefit of our listeners and the entire country on where we are on this digital number plates. Thank you. The status now, Honorable Minister, you know we started with the government vehicles. We have 1,970 government vehicles fitted with the digital number plates. And from 1st of November, Honorable Minister, we are now dealing with private motorcycles. The numbers from 1st of November, and maybe to make further clarification of the Minister, you know we have changed these systems. In the past, URA used to release these units, and then maybe the importers would pay as soon as the vehicles are registered. But then, when we reviewed the number of motorcycles, once they appear by customs, they don't collect these registration plates. So the new system now is, even when the customs has gone through the process of releasing the units, all motorcycles that is locked down, they have to be registered first. Then two, of course, you know, the digital registration plates also have components, so it is not every other person that will use these number plates. The reason why we have the technical piece that we do now. So far, units fitted for motorcycles, we have about 1,462 motorcycles. First time registration, so that we are aware of the Minister, the regulation gives a transition of 3 years for existing vehicles registration plates. However, because we are facing now, if you lose your existing registration plate now, then you have now to apply for the new digital plate. For the private vehicles, Honorable Minister, we are starting in July, 6th of January. We expect first time registration for all private cars to have digital plates. And then the existing vehicles, of course, will be preparing to do a transition within 2 years. But again, as I've said, if you lose registration plate, then it means you have another private vehicle. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Director, you said we should be submitting details of at what stage each road is. And these details are available. The roads which are at the designing stage, those who are at the contracting stage, those who are at completion, you can submit it at the opportunity and the information is available. Finally, I would like to, I think the new vision reporter was wanted to seek clarification the advantage of moving out from sector-wide planning to program planning. And let me ask Mr. Richard, you could clarify this.
Thank you, PS. Yes, there are a lot of advantages that come along with the shift from wide approach. Number one, like the minister alluded, the players in the program are much bigger than in the sector. So to the sector, and the other advantage is that under the program approach, we try to minimize duplication. We, as much as possible, try to reduce duplication in these in the program. For example, if Ministry of Agriculture is working on the roads, if they are constructing the roads, they are supposed to harmonize with the Ministry of Water and Transport, so that the Ministry supervises. So those are the advantages that come along with the. Now, the other component of the question that we asked, I think I was very attentive, is that in the program approach, we should be looking at the outcomes as opposed to the detailed processes. And I think my minister here, the director here answered this. Of course, when you have an intervention, this intervention, for example, there must be implementation. And this implementation goes on with so many processes. You can't avoid those processes. Okay? You can't avoid those processes. So those processes, you have activities, you have outputs, you have. But at the end of the implementation, of course, as detailed in the National Development Plan, the outputs or the outcomes are clear. They are clearly stated. Now, for us to know whether this intervention has been beneficial to the community, of course, we do the assessments. We do the assessments, we do impact studies, and then we identify the impact this intervention has had on the population. PS, I think that's one.
The director wanted to know if we are in position to tell the people how many people get employment when we tender out on projects, when we are filing down the
Yes, I also got that PS and the director. Yes, in a number of projects, I think the policy of labor-intensive technologies, where we are supposed to be using human labor as opposed to machines. I think there is a policy that clearly guides us on that. But unfortunately, there has not been coordinated. There is no coordinated, I think, effort to bring these figures together. Because when you come to the Ministry of Water and Transport, I think these figures are not brought together. I think that the director has said this is a food of thought, and we immediately going to get back on it. And then compile these figures, and then come up with a system, a legal system to capture all the employment generated by these projects. Because the projects are not many. Like saying the program is capital intensive. So the money that comes there, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of employment that's generated. So we need to capture, we're going to capture that. Thank you so much.
the director is also the master, and we just had a complaint on the poor state of the Shoro and Cavalry, maybe exactly the advertising. Can you say something about that? The poor state of roads in Shoro and Cavalry.
What is roads? Thank you so much, plan is that when we receive quota, funds in the coming quarter, we should be able to do light maintenance and finalize this issue to do engage with the contractor to determine the quality. And that's what we can say to the president.
Director, I would like to thank, under the program planning, the head of the program, the big co-head is the minister, and the technical head of the program is the PS. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the technical head of the program for leading us here. Also to thank you for hosting us, members of the fourth estate that have been a pleasure interacting with you. Please always available on the phone and on the internet. Clarification, we always be able to give you the information. Don't write more things to cost us. Thank you.
But I'll try to be loud and brief. I'm Kamagera, Deputy Director Manifesto. I concur observations, but I want to also add on my appreciation on behalf of many people to Honorable Yamkama for being a lead for a Kamodo farmer in the country. But I'm very worried what you are talking or what PS was saying. That while your farmer, because of the rains, is also very worried about his roads going to rain. So I don't know how you can sort out that way so that we all move on amicably. Thank you.
Okay. Those were part of the closing remarks. So join me once again to give a very big applause to the program. The Honorable Minister and your team, we want to thank you very much for coming and sharing with the country on how far we are going. So fellow citizens, wherever you are, this is the status of issues as far as this program is concerned. Air, infrastructure, marine infrastructure, roads infrastructure. We now have a status of progress from the report that we have received here today. And my appeal once again, and as usual, is that let's get the facts right. And I think we have also been able to get explanations in areas where we probably had gaps, and we are now have the reasons why certain things have not reached where they are. And Rome was also not built in one day. But we also need to celebrate the little gains that have been realized. Let's also be patriots and also be proud of whatever little gains we have achieved as a country collectively. With those remarks, Honorable Minister, I think let me introduce you, my team once again. Fred Kamjera is Deputy Director. We have Gloria over there, who is our senior administrator there, principal administrator. I think the economists are out busy. Hey, even the same, Kungu is around, and the rest could be busy capturing some issues. Honorable Minister, this activity is also jointly hosted between us, Office of the President, and the Minister of ICT. So the ICT members who are here, part of the technical team, you could also stand up for recognition, and we applaud you. The ones who are coordinating the disbursement of information aspects of it. We now come to the end of the day. Thank you. Marvin, who is coming in the afternoon? So we'll be again here, the members, us and you, our partners, to receive a team from the Ministry of East African Affairs, also on how in the focus areas that we agree with the citizens to deliver in that area. I now officially declare this session closed. Thank you very much. Anthems in the reverse order, and then Honorable Minister, you will join, and your team will join us for a group photo outside here. Thank you.